Hey, wonderful teachers, Sean Howard here. Excited to dig into lesson 135, Doctrine and Covenants 124 with you today. I'm personally really excited for this lesson because it is focused on the temple and talking specifically about the endowment and different ordinances. To help really prime the pump, I just really would suggest that you pay close attention to the student preparation before they come to class. It's going to invite them to go to this website, Temples, where it gives all sorts of great information about temples and temple ordinances. And again, it would be good just to invite your students to just go get to know that website. You're prepping them beforehand and piquing their interest, but also introducing them to one of the most powerful new resources we have for just learning and growing about the temple before you even go to the temple. Taking a look at the purpose for this lesson, it's kind of unique in that what we're trying to do is just understand two things: the importance of the Lord's temple, and we're going to do that by looking at, in section 124, some instruction when they're making the Nauvoo temple and what's to be performed there. We're building to the temple ordinances here, which includes the initiatory and the endowment. And so just caution right away to protect time to get in quickly to establish the importance of the temple and what you see in Nauvoo, but also protect time to really dig in and help your students learn and understand more about the initiatory and the temple endowment. It's going to be key to being successful today because of the sacred nature of this lesson, to just help us start off in a reverent way, not serious, but reverent for the sacred nature of talking about temples. I would encourage two quick starts. I might do either one, begin with a song that sets the tone for the sacred nature of the conversation. Strength Beyond My Own is a great, just really methodical and thoughtful song that gets us thinking about the higher and holier purposes of the temple in our own lives. I've included the video in the link to this song. Encourage your students just to listen to the words and think of their own feelings and experiences in and around the temple that have strengthened their faith and love for the Lord. Now, if you need to help your students a little bit with prompts to get them thinking and sharing, these are a few great prompts. I love the temple because, or the temple is special to me because, or if you are worried about, students that maybe don't have a love for the temple yet or aren't sure, here's a good prompt that they could do. I desire to better understand blank about the temple because, and give them a chance to express some of those things right when they start. That kind of just sets the tone for the sacred. Or you could simply just do something like this. Begin with asking students what their favorite temples are and to finish one of those prompts. Just so you know, as you start this lesson, you're inviting your students to imagine what you would say to a friend. And then if you go all the way to the end of this lesson, that's how you're ending as well. You're trying to help them see what more do they understand and what did they learn and grow in, and how could they explain it better for themselves and for other people. All right, let me share a few quick tips. First, on this right here, I love this idea, but I would set the stage and really help your students know, how confident are you in everything that goes on in the temple? All of the different ordinances, the endowment, the initiatory, the sealing, all of those. Not just baptisms for the dead and what they might be used to already, but what's their confidence all the way around, because that's what we're leading to later on in this lesson. Now, as you continue through the lesson, the main scriptural part of this lesson that you want to camp on just a little bit to get the importance and help them start seeing of why the Lord is asking them to build this temple is this section right here. So be sure to use this as a pause moment. I've created this and I'm just sharing it in a slide as well. Move a little bit quicker through this. There's some wording and different things that might be a little bit more difficult for students. And so you might go about this reading this way. Invite them to go to the scriptures, go in and dig into these verses with the purpose to match the reason that the Lord commands to build his temples with the verses that match there, and invite them to mark the different reasons in their scriptures. This might help the students to be able to identify quicker the reasons that the Lord said, and give you an opportunity to build on those and really dig into these ideas of washings and anointings and initiatory and that later in the lesson. If you're teaching on Zoom, you could use the interactive with this screen with your students and annotating it. All right, I got one more idea or tip for you that I think would be really, really helpful, especially when you're starting to talk about the endowment and the initiatory. And we have some great resources here, but one of them, as you start getting into it, highly recommend showing the video, What is a Temple Endowment, that they have. It's really short and succinct in 2 minutes. But one that I might add into the mix before I invite them to really dig in to this temple endowment is down here in the additional resources. It's actually the discussion of the endowment when they were doing the Washington, D.C. temple, and there's apostles and their wives that are talking about the initiatory and showing where it's done and the endowment and up to the celestial room. But I would really highly encourage this because it allows your students to really see where these things take place in the temple, and there's great imagery of what happened in ancient times with the anointing in the initiatory and picture that is shared that would just be really helpful visual to help your students grasp then the covenants and the blessings and the symbolism that begin to happen in the temple. Now, I want to give you one last little idea that you might do maybe towards the beginning or the end of this lesson, just a plug for next year studying the Old Testament. There's a quick video called Latter-day Saint Temples that I put in the folder. It just shows how from ancient times, temples have always existed. Share with your students and get them excited for what's to come when we study Old Testament, that really to better understand the symbolism of the endowment and everything that's happening in the temple. A greater understanding of symbolism from Old Testament times helps really bring to life the symbolism in the temple and make connections that help us connect with Christ.